Morning. No, I've only just got here.
Oh yeah, fish on.
So what's the biggest then? What's the biggest you know of? I can't really work out, you know, if there's plenty in this section or what. It's mainly going to be a case of...
Right, let's have a go, let's have a go.
There's loads and loads of small roach and fry slowly coming on the edge of this drop off at the top. I've never seen one person fish up here. How you doing, mate? You all right? There's been a right few strange folk around here today, groups of them, I'm sure. Unless they're dogging or something, I don't know, but...
So we are back on the banks. We are out doing our first real pike session of the season. Weather's cooled down, conditions are absolutely spot on now for catching a pike. The temperature of the water's cooled down. Today's going to be a very mild day, but evening conditions have been absolutely spot on. It's been dropping down to like 3 degrees. So I thought I'd come down for a day session on the River Trent for my first pike session of the season. I actually fished this peg, I think it was about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, and we had bream. I was actually doing a spot of barbel fishing, but I thought I'd come down and try it for pike. So we're going to be fishing 3 rods, 3 leisure dead baits. This section of the river, last time I was on it was very clear. Literally pub chuck them, just keep casting them all over the swim out in the middle of the river. There's no flow whatsoever, and try and pick a few pike up.
Well, it's nice to be back on the Trent, targeting pike. Hopefully we get some action today. With it being a very quiet section of the Trent and you don't get much angling pressure, I can't really say it's a good section for catching or it's produced some big fish. I've got no idea, so I'm sort of coming here on a whim. I was supposed to be on the fen and drains today, but I thought I've got to get down here just to give it a bash. Conditions are perfect. Although it is going to be a bright day, I think we might get some action along here. As you can see, there's no lily pads now, they've all died off. A little bit of weed in this margin area, not too much. And then there's a nice drop off just down here and I can just envision some big pike just coming along here. Right, let's have a little look first. Let's go for the mid-channel. Ish. That's going nowhere. So 2.5 ounce in the mid-channel. Nice and clear. That's lovely. I don't know if there's any monsters in here or what. If I speak to any anglers, which is highly unlikely on here, but if I do, or any people who walk past here into fishing, I'll have a word with them, see what they say. Right, that is pretty much it. The reason I'm using this is because the baits are very soft. Sardines can be a nightmare for splitting and wearing away, but that's going to be absolutely fine. So that's going to be the same on all 3 rods. I've got a few smaller baits, probably 5-6 inches long, and that's just going to be a straightforward running leisure setup. So let's get all 3 rods cast out and try and get an early morning bite. So the setup, very simple. As I mentioned, 18-20 inch long trace, bottom bait, 2.5 ounce lead running on the line, and then 30 pound Hercules braid. And that's it. The most basic setup you can possibly use for pike fishing, and it catches. That's why I use it every season. Right, so right hand rod's going to be in the margin, tight at the drop off. Middle rod's going to be mid-channel. This will go somewhere in between. So let's go to there. Right, that is on the slackest clutch I can get. As you can see, there's not one drop of movement on there. Yeah, no flow at all. It wouldn't surprise me if the river's dropped down a little bit from the past couple of days. My last barbel session I did, it was, yeah, hardly anything being produced. And believe it or not, I even tried for pike and zander, if you saw the video, and that was a blank as well. So, right. That's the left hand rod sorted. Let's get one out in the mid-channel and then this margin. only just got here.
I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there's loads and loads of small roach and fry slowly coming on the edge of this drop off at the top with this dead weed. Is loads of them coming all the way along here. But conditions, obviously, it's going to be a fairly bright day, but if there's any pike hanging around, I'm sure that they'll take interest in these dead baits, especially in the different areas that I've put them. I want to give myself as much chance as I can. I knew I'd be coming here, so got more than enough space for 3 rods, and I can cover all angles, because I mean a big pike could come through here, or any pike could come through, not even venture near the mid channel or somewhere in between. They just stay close. You find there's a pattern, it always emerges where the fish are coming through, and it's just trying to find it. And if you start getting lots of bites in the margins or a few rod lengths around this area, then it's best to have your rods in that area so you're covering all bases for him to come through.
How you doing, mate?
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, you have enough?
I've only been here for about an hour.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Pike?
Yeah. So what's the biggest then? What's the biggest you know of?
Arteria?
Yeah.
20.
Is that all 20?
Yeah, that's only down near boats. I don't know up
Really?
here. I don't know many people that fish for pike up there, to be honest.
I've never seen one person fish up
I
here.
think it's only me and you now that
So we're coming up to about 11:15. I've not long spoke to a chap who I normally bump into him when I'm down here doing recce's and stuff. And it's the biggest pike that he's known to come out of here is a scraper 20, which is a nice fish on any given day when you're out doing a spot pike fishing. The stock, still don't really know. He doesn't do huge amounts of pike fishing on here. So I can't really work out, you know, if there's plenty in this section or what. It's mainly going to be a case of just do what I normally do, get a few sessions under my belt and go from there. Just need one. And normally when you've had one, the rest follow. It's always the same.
Right, let's have a go, let's have a go. Oh yeah, fish on. Fish on. What have we got? That was a very finicky bite. Oh, it's a tiny, tiny little babber. Look at the size of it. I think the sardine's bigger than the pike. Look at that little fella. Look at the size of him. Tiny little thing. You sometimes find on rivers as well, you do get a lot of, some sections you get huge amounts of jack pike. Right, I didn't put him in the net, reason being he had a treble just on the edge of his gill there, and I didn't want him to do a death roll and get caught up in it, so just manhandled him. Look at the condition of that. What a beautiful, beautiful pike, aren't you, mate? Beauty, beauty, beautiful. Look at the condition of him. Whoa! You little kipper.
Right. A smidge of Canadian on the lead, but bait hasn't been touched. Presentation wise, you couldn't have asked for any better, really. Not a mark on it. Right, try again. Right, so we've got probably half an hour left, and then that is the end of the session. We've got one little small jacket to share for today's efforts, which, looking at it, I'm surprised we even caught that, to be honest. Don't think we're going to get anything else now, apart from that small one. And the plan, like I said, I'm going to go to that lake tomorrow. We'll have a day on there. I'm going to do something a bit different on the channel tomorrow. Instead of me leisuring a dead bait, I'm going to have 2 float rods, and we're going to spend a couple of hours in each swim and suspend the baits, because there is a lot of weed in that lake. And I'm thinking suspend them like I normally would do, maybe a foot off the bottom, just to make sure I've got enough clearance for the bait to be moving around. And I'll put little flights which are connected to the floats. I'll put 2 of those on. So if we get a drop of wind, it will move the baits as well. And then we'll do that. And then we can just cover a load of ground on the lake tomorrow. I've never pike fished the lake before, so I'll be intrigued to see what we can catch. Well, we've come to the end of the session. It's been a little bit of a grueler, if I'm honest. One little pecker, about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Other than that, it is completely dead. Weather is changing a little bit. It's going a bit overcast, but within the next 10 minutes, it's going to be glorious sunshine again. And that is what's going to be going against us, to be honest. And I think this next couple of weeks is going to be tough for catching the bigger ones. Hopefully I'm wrong tomorrow when we get to that lake, but they go up to 27, there's a handful of 20s, and we're going to be roaming around the lake all day, and we'll give that a bash. And then if the weather sorts itself out, might do a few night sessions for pike as well. There's a million and one places that I'm going to be going to, so just keep your eyes peeled, and then hopefully there'll be some big pike coming to the channel over the next couple of weeks. So just want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.